This is a gentleman who joined us all the way from US. And I'm going to tell you some things about him that he doesn't want you to know. Is that okay, Jayson? Can I reveal all of your secrets? Actually, no. Yeah, everybody else has already revealed all of Jayson's secrets. So, Jayson E. Street is our amazing special closing keynote, and we're so honored that he's with us today. Jayson is not only the global DEF CON ambassador from DEF CON, the biggest hacker convention on earth in Las Vegas. He just returned from a trip to China, where they did a very special DEF CON China event, because the founders of DEF CON decided that, yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. We like cats. I like cats. So DEF CON China, and Jayson will tell us a little bit about that. That was actually because they decided that if the security researchers in China cannot come to DEF CON in the US, DEF CON will come to China, to them. And we're going to hear a little bit more about that. I think we're all set. Do you need anything?
I don't need it.
Okay, yes. And Jayson, just the microphone is going to be a little bit far, so put it a little up or use this one.
All right. I'm really loud. So.
You're very loud? Okay. I hope you get ready. Okay, please make some noise for the amazing Jayson E. Street, all the way from DEF CON, here with us at BSidesTLV. Make noise for him! Woo! Thank you so much, Jayson. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? It's like, I have to apologize. I've been trying to dress Nazir, but my luggage, I've been assured, is somewhere in Israel, so that's good. I don't know where in Israel it is, but it's supposed to be here, so thank you, Turkish Airlines, for that. I fly United. At least they didn't beat me up, so I got that going for me. So yeah, pardon for my dress, but I want to get right into it. I was asked by Karina, she asked me to do the keynote, and I was like, she said it was like 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes, and everybody knows how much I talk. It's like, that's really something, you know, coming up with 15 minutes of trying to because usually it's like an hour and 15 minutes, I can manage maybe. It's like usually it's an hour 30, 2 hours. So I wanted to get in, it's like, what am I going to talk to you about? What do I think is so important that I want, if I only have 15 minutes, I want to talk to you about? And so I came up with this talk. It's called Greater Than 300, Even More Powerful Than Over 9,000. A little bit about me is, you may have seen me rob a bank on National Geographic, talked on the news, but more than likely you've seen me on your surveillance cameras robbing you. That's sort of what I do. So I do a little bit of an offensive and defensive kind of thing. But let's get straight into the 300, because most people are thinking this 300. It's like they're thinking, you know, that's what I want to talk about, you know, which is, you know, a cool movie and stuff, you know, it's nice. It's like, but no, it's this. You have over 300 days to the next BSidesTLV. What are you going to do with it? What's up? It's like, has anybody here, you've been here for the whole conference? Raise your hand. You've been here for the whole conference? Have you learned something? Something inspired you, something thought about it? It's like, one of the questions I got to ask you is like, what are you going to talk about next year? What's your subject going to be? It's like you see people up here with talks. It's like you see me with my talks, and I hope when you look at my talks, you say, wow, that's pretty basic, Jayson. Okay? Because it usually is pretty basic. It's like, and that's fine, because I'm not trying to go and say all the advanced stuff. It's like I want you to start off with the basics. I want you to understand that there are still people out there that need to know how to get started. They need to know what the basics are. I mean, advanced, you know, using a 0-day to pop a calculator on an ATM or a toaster oven or a light bulb, yay. It's like, that's awesome. But we need to keep education going. And it's like, and it's not just going to be me keep being up on stage, giving talk after talk. You need to be on stage. You need to be sharing the information. It is just selfishly horrible that you have knowledge that I don't know and you're keeping it to yourself. It's like, the most useless time that I have at a conference is this right here. Because I'm not learning. All I'm doing is going blah, and it's like I'm just talking and, you know, blabbling on, and I'm not getting anything out of it. And I am selfish. It's all about me, right? It's like, I want to learn. I come here to learn. I come here to network. I come here to find out what you have to say, what you know. It's like, I need you to share more of your information. I need you to come up with a talk. B-sides, it's like, people are like, well, I don't know. I don't know where I could give a talk. Hello? Right here in your own neighborhood. This is where you can give a talk. B-sides are amazing for that. It's like there are local conferences. You have local meetups, DEF CON groups. It's like they're everywhere, and they're there for you to actually start practicing those talks, practicing that lecture, working with other people with the same passion. You hear someone in the background in the meeting, and they're talking like in the chill out area, and they're talking about a subject. Interrupt them. Say, well, hey, I'm interested in that too. It's like trying to connect. Just try to talk to. That's what's so beautiful about DEF CON. It's like, because people are saying it's like, DEF CON is like, well, oh my gosh, Jayson, it's like, it's like there's so many people. There's like over 25,000 people at DEF CON. Yeah, there's over 25,000 opportunities for you to find someone that's got the same passion that you have. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, Jayson, there's so many villages at DEF CON. Yes. You now know exactly the key places that you can go to meet those people that share the same passion you do. You like Wi-Fi hacking, go to the Wi-Fi hacking village. You like social engineering, go to the social engineering village. You like the IoT village, go to the IoT village. It's like you like the cannabis village, cannabis, go to the cannabis village. They got everything now. They got villages for everything. So it's like from car hacking to voting machine hacking, there's something there. It's like, and it doesn't just have to be that conference. You can start developing those talks and start understanding that that's what this community is about. This community is not built on just listening to what other people have to say. It's about sharing information. It's about being part of the community. And one of the key things is that you're part of the community all over the world. Oh, wait, wrong world. Sorry. That was for another slide deck. It's like flat earth, sorry. No, this is the world, right? There we go. So you're part of the world. You're part of a global community. It's like, and what does that mean? What does that mean to be part of the global community? It means participating and understanding that the global is not just in our backyard, not just what we agree on, not what we're a part of, but just accepting all different sides of it. It's like, so it's like one of the key things is like, and that's one of the things I like about DEF CON groups, is that we share that. It's like we share that spirit of communication and being part of a community, something bigger than ourselves. One of the best things that I liked back in the 90s is being on the IRC. It's like IRC was like Slack, but almost as worse. So it's like, in case you're wondering what IRC was, okay? And the best thing about being on IRC is that I didn't know where you came from. I mean, people older than me went to the BBSs. I did some BBSs when I was like 9. But not very many. But it's like, and BBSs were actually worse than Slack. So you have to go through that, and you look at that, and you know what? I didn't know where you came from. I didn't know where you lived. I didn't know what your religion was. I didn't know what you looked like. I didn't know what color you were, what gender you were, nothing. I knew what you thought. I knew what information that you had to share with me, and what information you wanted me to share with you. That's what I knew. Then we got Instagram. Crap. Now I know you're a girl. Now I know you're a guy. Now I know that you're a different color than me. Now I know you have a different religion than I am. And that's when it started going south. It's because we started letting that dictate instead of what the information dictated. We are part of a global community. When I came here, I was having people tell me, like, oh, Jayson, are you sure about coming here? It's like, like, well, why not? I've been to over 45 countries in 10 years. And I am telling you right now, I have never met a foreigner. You sit down in the corner of Beijing, it's like, and you see people going to school. It's like taking their kids to school, businessmen going off to work. It's like, that's the same thing I see here in Jerusalem when I was there just this morning. It's like, it's the same thing I see in the Philippines. It was the same thing I saw in Bogota, Colombia. Same thing I see in Paris, France. We're people. What separates us is perceptions and fears. And you can't let other people's projections of fear of what they think the world is shadow or change what you want. So we had some things, thank you. And there was some talk about DEF CON Beijing, and I was told to mention about that. And that's one of the key things that's like I heard about was like, oh my gosh, taking it over to Beijing. Okay. It's like, you know, they'll do this. You'll know they'll do this. You'll know they're going to do this. And I'm like, I've been going, my first conference outside of the U.S., my first time outside of the U.S. was to Beijing in 2008. And I'm telling you right now, I was afraid. I mean, I used to live behind a dumpster, okay? It's like when I was 16. It's like, trust me, I know what being afraid was like. It hasn't been happening in like decades, okay? Because it's like I've got a very high threshold of fear. And, but my first time, I was afraid. And you know what? That was until I got out of my hotel room. It's like, that was when I started walking around and meeting people and seeing people. And when I went to the first conference, I wasn't an American that was coming over there to you know, spy or be part of whatever, the hacking community and trying to, I was a hacker. I was someone wanting to learn. I was well received. I was welcomed to the after party. It was an amazing time. That's what DEF CON was trying to bring to China. It's like DEF CON wasn't trying to bring DEF CON Vegas to China. DEF CON was trying to bring a conference, a place where people in the same kind of style that the Chinese already have, to share information. Because one of the biggest problems we have in this community and on this effing planet is that everybody is too busy talking about each other and not to each other. And that's what we need to start building bridges on. We need to start opening communication. We need to start understanding that what I have to say is important. Who here thinks that they have a talk or an idea or something they're passionate about that they're able to give out and share by next year? What is this? Do you realize that my talks to me are crap? Seriously. I have one of the best examples of, you know, imposter syndrome on the world. The only thing I'm good at is failing. It's like the only thing that I've really been, I mean, I actually had a talk based on all my fails. It's like not really cool fails where I accidentally robbed the wrong bank or anything like that. It was literally how I screwed up and how I messed up and don't do the things that I did. But I still get up here because I hope at least one point someone will hear something and they'll either go and say, wow, I learned something from that guy. It's like I want to learn and do more to it, or crap, I can't do worse than that guy. It's like I want to go up and talk next time. Either way, so don't let your voices, it's like, you know, that voice in the back of your head that says that you're not good enough or you don't think someone has to learn, stop you from teaching, from sharing your information. The hacker community is about sharing information. So if you're part of this community, then you should be sharing information. It's like, and if you're not in this community, you say, well, Jayson, I'm not in this hacker community. Well, you should be. It's an amazing place because you're accepted for who you are and what you know. Not what religion, not what color, not what gender, not who you love. It's what you know and what you can show. That's what this has got to be about. This was supposed to be a very quick talk. I think I accomplished that. What I will do is like open it up for questions. It's like you can ask me about any, one of the key things I have to warn you about, I do not filter at all. So you can ask me any question that you feel like you think you can get away with, and be careful because I will answer it as honestly and unfiltered as I can. It's been very embarrassing in several different locations around the world. But I will do that here. So let's start with some questions. Yes?
Favorite country, if there is one. Favorite experience or favorite country?
That is a good question. I don't have one. I have 5 home away from home cities. Okay. I have 5 cities that I know everywhere to go. I know where everything's at. I know where all the Pizza Huts are. It's like, I have had cab drivers try to take me to the long way, and I've been able to stop them going, no, no, I'm not a tourist. You go this way. It's Beijing, Berlin, Singapore, Shanghai, and Paris. It's like, they're not like the best ones, but they're the ones that I've gone to the most. Mont Saint-Michel took my breath away. It's like when I was 10 years old, it's off of the coast of France. When I was 10 years old, I didn't have, let's just say, a normal childhood. It was against the Geneva Conventions. But I used to read National Geographics, and I would see the different cities. And Mont Saint-Michel was the first place that I ever saw that was like beautiful and real. It was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to live here. I could actually live somewhere like that. And 2 years ago, I actually got to go to it. And so, and one of the best pictures, it's like on one of my wallpapers on one of my computers, is a picture not looking at Mont Saint-Michel, because that's all I did my whole entire life. It was a picture of outside my hotel window, seeing the outside of it. So I was actually looking out from Mont Saint-Michel. So that was probably one of the best places I've ever been, just because of that memory. But I've seen beauty here. It's like I was walking on Mount Zion, and I got lost. I was trying to get to the tomb of King David. And I just randomly walked up to a lady, and she was like, and I was like, she was waiting for the bus. She was busy. She was on her phone. And I had a map. I was like, hey, can you show me? It's like, I'm trying to get to, is this where it's at? And not only did she give me directions, but then she was like, and enjoy your stay here. It's kindness everywhere. It is not something beholden to one area or one city. I've seen it in every city I've been in. I've seen it in every country that I've visited. Yes.
You spoke about failures.
Yes.
I like them too. What's your favorite?
My favorite failure? My favorite failure was attacking the network guys. I went and created I created such an adversarial relationship with the networking and IT team, because security and network guys were not supposed to get along. They know what they did. So it's like, so I had this adversarial relationship with them. And I noticed one time on the firewall, these weird telnet sessions that were being dropped, but it was coming from inside the network. You know, the phone call's coming from inside the house. I freaked out, right? It's like I launched, flare guns. It's like we had like the big red button was pushed, talked to the CIO, got him over the network. We're trying to figure out what's going on. I'm freaking out. About 15 minutes later, the junior network guy's like, oh, could that be my scan that I'm doing with our Orion Cisco manager or whatever and stuff, to our external, routers? It's like our branch routers. Yes, it could be. It's like, and the thing was, he could have probably told me that sooner, but I was an a-hole. Why bother? I learned that you're a facilitator in information security. You're not the law. You're not, I am the authority. No, you are the facilitator. You're there to help networking just like anybody else. And when they start realizing that you're helping them, they start helping you. So that was probably one of my best failures, is like, because I started at that point to be better at communicating with the network. Right. Yes.
You speak about contribution to the community. So as you can see, I'm really a young guy in this community. I'm only 17, so I'm a little bit intimidated to come here and lecture about cybersecurity and stuff like that, because, for example, the knowledge of many here technically is much louder. But I think I can contribute in some way to lecture about how a person gets into this community, maybe as a child. How do you
And that's perfect.
how to raise your child to become such interested in cybersecurity.
And do you realize that there's people all over that would love to hear about that? People that want to talk to their children, other people that are watching YouTube videos. Do you know I have 2 kids. Do you know how much time they spend on YouTube? They would love to stumble across a video of someone like you coming up here and showing them how to get it done. I got a DM today of someone's like, how do I become a hacker? Okay. I haven't replied yet, but first of all, that's not a good question, okay? Because you're a hacker. You don't ask how to be a hacker. You can't be a hacker. You can't learn to be a hacker. It's just built into who we are. It's like every child was a hacker. It's like sometimes we lose that. You know how you know a child's a hacker? Why? Why does this work? Why? Okay, why? And they just ask that why. They have that curiosity. That's always built in. So it's like, yes, to show people, it's like how to do the streamline, how to make the shortcuts. That's valuable. So everybody has something to contribute. It doesn't always have to be a 0 day. None of my talks involve 0 day. None of my talks involve 1 or 2 or 3 days. Most of them are like 400 or above days, okay? It's like nothing new, okay? But I still get up and I still share that information because I think it might help someone.
And you are welcome to come to the local DC meeting.
Yes, the local DEF CON groups invited you to come and talk as well.
Next month, you're up.
All right, so any other questions? By the way, if we still have time, this is the way I work. If I still have time, which I do, and no one answers a question, asks a question, I randomly pick someone in the audience to ask me a question.
Let me help you.
Okay, there we go.
There's no limit.
Okay, so who wants to ask me a question, or should I go find out with someone? Yes.
Not necessarily a fail moment, but do you recall any experiences that you had where you had a certain aha moment, something that like was really insightful that you suddenly realized that you kept on using from that moment on?
Yes, actually it was a pretty good one. I was robbing a bank in Houston, Texas. It's like, and I just found blueprints for the bank in the construction dumpster. And if you don't know how valuable blueprints are for a bank, they should not be left in the construction dumpster. Thank goodness it wasn't the regular dumpster. I end up in a lot of dumpsters, okay? I like construction dumpsters the best because there's less food matter or other matter. And so I'm coming out and I'm about to like go out and do my happy root dance. Everybody has their own happy root dance when they break something, you know, it's like, I'm not gonna show you my root dance. But so I'm about to get out of this dumpster and I see blue and red lights. And I'm like, I didn't order disco lights for my happy root dance. Where did this come from? And it's like, it's all of a sudden, there's like a police officer, and he's like, let me see your hands, let me see your effing hands. And I'm like, I'm coming out of a dumpster, but I'm in Texas, I could die now, okay? It's like, so it's like, I literally get out and I'm like, I have a letter, don't shoot me here, I have a letter, I'm going for paper, and I pull out the get out of jail free card. And I sashay it sideways to the guy less likely to kill me. And it's like, he was the older dude that was passenger, and I'm like, here. It's like, you know, as adorably and as harmless as I can. And he read it, like cursory. And you know what he said? He's like, oh, he's doing an engagement. It's like, fine, whatever. And then it hit me. What did he do? He let me go, and he didn't call any of the numbers. I now carry 2 get out of jail free cards. One is the one that the company gave me, and the other one is the forged one that I make myself, telling whoever catches me that they have to do everything that I say. They can't put it in the reports because it's an ongoing audit, and the numbers that I give them are burner phones that my colleagues have who will answer the phone as the person that's supposed to be on there. It's an amazing, I had one company who actually said for a bonus, they wanted me to go into their server room and take a server out of their server room. They had one set up aside, so you'll know by the name of it and stuff. It's on the side, just like you'll get a bonus. I go in there and I break into the server room at night. And okay, I can't say that word. Those wonderful people decided to be a little funny and play a joke on me. The server they put for the bonus was an old compact SCSI file server that weighs like 5,000 pounds. I may be exaggerating a little bit, okay? It's like, and that was on the side of the corner. I was like, oh, we're gonna be funny today. So I go back outside and I get caught by security. And it's like, and when the security comes, it's like they catch me. It's like, because I was very obvious to make sure that they did. It's like I handed them my forged get out of jail free card that talked to them about like, you have to do everything I say, you have to like, and they carried the server out to my car because that sucker was heavy and I wasn't doing it, okay? It's like, so my best epiphany was figuring out I can get away with forged emails.
Jayson,
Yes.
question, because we do have to clear the
Okay, yes, one last question.
Last question.
Yes.
I wanted to know how do I find a specific topic to give a talk about?
Very simple. What do you like doing? What do you have a passion about? What makes you curious? And make it something that you may not know that very much. Do you know the best way to learn something is knowing that you have to give a talk on it, that people are going to question you on it. You learn it real thorough. It's like when you know that's coming down. It's like, so find something that you have a passion about, something you may not even know about yet. It's like, and then start studying. Tell yourself, I want to give a talk on this. Figure out how you're going to give a talk on it. What parts of it you're going to, because everybody in this room can give a talk on Nmap. And hardly any of them are going to be the exact same. It's like, because everybody has a different approach to what they're learning. Everybody has a different approach to see something. And the way that you see something may be the aha moment for someone else in this audience that goes and says, I never saw it that way. Now it makes sense. So that's what you do. You find the thing that makes you passionate about and you share it with the world. All right, thank you.